Yvonne Gabauer here with my crafting therapy room. I had posted on Journaling by Fives the other day. Karen Birchall and I had got together and we did some glue gun stencils. And one of the ladies had asked if I had done a video on how to make them, and I hadn't, so I thought, oh well, what the heck, it's not that big of a deal, it's not going to take that long. And anyway, so I grabbed my little mini glue gun. I don't even know where I put it anymore, but I bought this thing. It was cheap, like $5, right? And when I was at Karen's, I was really struggling with it, and I finally gave up last night because it was just not working at all. So today I went out and bought a new mini glue gun, which works slightly better, still not great. But what I also did when I went out is I bought some new glue sticks from my big honkin' old glue gun that I've had for a very, very, very long time. Anyways, so I've been playing with it and doing up some different designs. So these are just some of the ones that I came up with. And I haven't even sprayed these ones yet, so I don't know how they will work. I did a big flower one, like that one. Actually, I like them all that I did. I did a little heart, which I don't like. This is probably going to end up in the garbage. I don't know if you can see that on that green. And then as I was getting my big glue gun ready to go, it had a bunch of old glue in it. So I don't even know if you can see this. What I should do is probably see if I can find a darker piece of paper. Let me just grab this real quick. Without knocking everything over. It's just a piece of foam. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So yeah, I was just cleaning out the glue out of the glue gun and just honestly went, and you know what? I think I'm going to use that as a stencil. It actually worked pretty darn good, I think. And then I just did a little one with my little glue gun, cleaning the glue out of that. But some of the things we did last night when I was at Karen's, and hang on here, I'm just going to, well, these are some of the ones I did last night with that little glue gun, and honestly, I was ready to just, I don't know what I was ready to do, but, I mean, they're still okay. Actually, I think they'll probably be fine, and I really, like I say, haven't sprayed them yet, so I don't know what they're going to be like. But this is some of the ones we did at Karen's, and this is what the girls saw last night. So I did do a circle one last night, which turned out not too bad. I did, oh, not last night, I guess it was 2 nights ago. We did some arrows, and some of these ideas were Karen's that I kind of stole from her and did my own. So we did a couple of arrows. I made an Eiffel Tower, which I kind of like, but it's a little bit big, so I don't know how many journal pages I'll be able to use this on, but I still like it. What else did I do last night? I did a very convoluted flower design, sort of, kinda, and then I did some other squigglies and squares and stuff like that. So honestly, your imagination will give you whatever. I mean, here's what some of them sprayed like at Karen's that night. And this is the Eiffel Tower and the arrows. So I mean, they spray nice. They're going to make nice little stencils. And then we did a bunch of words. So I did imagine, and I did dream, live, inspire, art, hope, joy. What else is this? Life. Karen and I were just kind of saying the words love, laugh. This one I did last night. Enough. I did this evening with this other glue gun. Believe. So I mean, you can do a ton of words, and I'll just show you how they spray real quick here. Oh, come on, get it. And then this was the empty package from my little glue guns, my little glue sticks that I had at her place last night. So guess what? It works good. So anyways, this is what, I guess that doesn't show up really well with that color ink, does it? You know what I'm going to do real quick? Oh, not that paper. Let's just put a couple of them down and do a little spray, and you'll see kind of how they inspire, love, joy, hope, dream, laugh. You grab that one I just did. Believe. I grabbed some of my red Lindy sprays I was playing with last night just so you could really see them. And another idea I got from Karen is whenever I want to slop up some ink, I use a coffee filter, and these things work just lovely in an art journal page afterwards. So there you go. That's how they work. So they're not like clear, but that's good enough for me. I guess I didn't spray enough around that believe, did I? See if I can line it up and give it another bit of a spritz there. But anyways, so they kind of see how they work. Anyways, like I said, this isn't really clear, but for what I'm going to use it for in my art journaling, I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. One thing I did want to try, I wanted to see how a couple of these sprayed that I made this evening. So I'm going to put that one on there. And where's my smaller flowers that I did? Let's just do that and get it on the edge. So once I'm done playing here, I will grab my stuff and I'll kind of just show you how I make them. And it's honestly trial and error. Some of them will work, some of them will don't. Wow, that's good English, isn't it? Some of them will work, some of them not as much when you're making them. Oh, see, I like that. That's awesome, right? More muted than anything, but that's all right. That is all right. So there you go, hey? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I'm just gonna, I like Karen. I'm almost grounded from her house already because every time I go over there I get spray all over everything. So she's got a plastic tablecloth on one of her tables, and I think it's all sorts of brand new colors that it wasn't before. And then last night I was working and it was actually on her countertop. Yes, I was. But I washed it off. I'm sure she can't even tell where I was. I hope, Karen. So this is where I've decided to split the video. The coffee filters that I use to mop up my sprays with make great texture in your art journal pages, so do not throw them away, and a great way to just gather some more tools, I guess, to use in your art journal pages. Now this part of the video I went back to real time because I wanted to give you an idea of the flow of the glue gun when you're working with it, so it's not the lightning speed that you see me going at for the rest of the video, but I didn't want to bore you with how long it actually takes to do each one of these. My hand did get sore by the end of this evening because I had done a bunch of practice ones before I recorded, and that glue gun is old and very heavy. Now you'll see at the end of this too where I do some trimming on some of the words just to even out some of the letters, but just to the ease of using the glue gun, right? I didn't like the E on that dream, so I decided to do it over again. One of the ways, or one of the cool things about using a glue gun is that you're not wasting a whole lot by doing it over again. Now when I'm done this, I take this green mat and I set it aside so that I can keep going. And then I start working on the black, what is it, silicone sheet, I guess. You'll see when I go to peel off these flowers that they don't work quite as well or come off as easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some tips here, starting and stopping points. So you'll see I start my flower in the center. I would rather have that big gob of glue in the center of the flower than on the tips of each of the petals. So that's kind of where I start. You'll also notice as I go along, I'm anchoring those petals as many times as I can as I'm creating this stencil. The more times you can anchor to another part of the stencil, the sturdier the stencil will be. Now these aren't for precise work when you go to use them in your art journal pages. These are going to be very loose, very, I don't know, I mean you're not going to use it with your texture paste, right? These are going to be used with your sprays. You might be able to sponge ink through them, but they're definitely not for your texture paste. Now you can see how easy these things peel off, right? And then I just spent some time trimming off some of the little extra glue pieces, and I trim off that big gob that I've got on the G in Courage, and just kind of clean that up and make it look a little bit better. Set those aside, and then, oh, hearts, yes. So again, I'm going to show you how I do these hearts. And I do a heart inside of a heart. but I do it in one motion because the fewer times you start and stop the glue gun, the fewer bigger globs of glue, I guess, you end up with. So just one little tip. I tried to do another little wee heart in the middle. Turned out horrendous, so I ended up cutting that out. Decided to zoom in, and then, of course, never double checked it again. So I end up with the whole thing being outside of frame, unfortunately. I'm going to pause it here because I hear my husband coming home. So I'll keep going here. Again, I did a sideways heart there. I didn't want my husband coming down because I've actually got his headset and microphone that he uses. So I could just see him coming, storming into the room here to get it back. Now I do kind of pull the stencil down a bit so you'll be able to see what it looks like when I'm all finished. And I do adjust the camera angle sometime into the next video that I'm doing here. So you can see how that silicone mat doesn't work quite like the green one. So I do have to use my metal palette knife. I fixed one of the petals that didn't finish closing up on that one. And then what I do is I show you that you can also do these flower stencils by doing individual flowers and then connecting them. So again, I'm just kind of, now I'm experimenting with some different shapes of petals. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you end up with a little bit of a neater stencil when you're done doing it this way than when you try to join them all together. I don't know. I was quite happy with either one of them, but again, I know what I'm using these for, and I'm not going for perfection, so I'm fine with it being a little bit off. So once I'm done these, I again set this aside so that these can dry, and I bring back my green mat, and voila, pulls off like a darn. Cut out the ugly heart that I put in the center, pick off a few strings, and then I just show you again, you know, gobs of glue, just a string of glue. Just move the glue gun around, makes an actual really cool stencil. I quite liked it when it was done, and I sprayed it. And here come the flowers back. Use a palette knife, Yvonne. Use a palette knife. And then you just arrange the flowers in whatever design you want and find ways to connect them using the flowers that you've created. There you go. So a little gob of glue where you want them to create, where you want them to connect, is all you need to do. And it doesn't matter how thick this stencil is. You're spraying through it, right? It's not anything you have to worry about dimension or how many little bubbles you have on it or gobs or whatever the case may be, because it really doesn't matter on the end result of the stencil. So just attaching them all. And then I forget to do the one. I do come back and get it before the end of the video. So there. So your imagination is the only thing that's going to hold you back. Don't expect perfection. You're not going to get perfection. If you're wanting store-bought ones, buy store-bought ones, because you're not going to get the same result with these. You're just not. Do a search in YouTube. There's a ton of videos on how to do this. People that are much more talented in this than I am. There, I'm telling you to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love it if you did. Give me some feedback. Give me some ideas of what other things or shapes I can use for stencils. There's where I find out I didn't attach that one. So thank you very much for waiting for me to get this uploaded and working through my sound issues. It still isn't perfect, but I'm done playing with this one. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Bye-bye.